church steeple. Beautiful little Catholic church here in Vega de Alatorre. This is Main Street. Some motorcycles and motor scooters moving. Street dog moving. Shops are all closed. Like this. They all have these roll down things where they can close up. I love this ice cream shop a lot. It's one of my favorite places to stop in Vega. Get myself a little thing of ice cream, and I love to sit at the very back table there. About 7 o'clock in the morning. It's the first time I've walked in downtown Vega. I've been located in El Diamante, 6 miles to the north, and taken the bus into town. It's different seeing the city before it comes to life in the morning. And I went into a little reverie this morning about working in downtown Chicago. That was muy diferente, but I did in my, when was the last time? Oh, I worked in downtown Chicago a lot. This is the Papelerias, the paper store. They'll do copies for you, and I can email documents to them, and they'll print them out for me for, I think, a penny a page. I think a penny a page is what I remember paying. Yeah, so I worked in downtown Chicago as a college kid. We're talking in the late 60s. My aunt worked for the elevator operators union and got me a job running freight elevators and some passenger, but the passenger elevators were mostly automatic by then. Although I did run some passenger elevators in a big building. You may have heard of the police riot in Chicago in 1968 at the Democratic Convention. Trial of the Chicago 7 was the great movie a couple years ago. I was there. Yeah. I wasn't gonna go because Chicago Tribune, conservative, but a very well thought of newspaper, said there were all these outside agitators coming in with guns and it was going to turn violent. So I got scared as a young college kid. I guess I had just graduated and didn't go until day 3. By day 3, I had seen so much of the police riot, just bashing the innocent, nonviolent demonstrators. Mayor Daley had given them orders to do that. So about this, and I was running a passenger elevator at a big office building, and about the 3rd carload of business people, mostly guys, that I had to listen to saying, did you see that last night? They gave those commies, those pinkos, those punks, what they had coming. In my elevator operator's uniform that my aunt had gotten me into, I turned around, gave him the finger, said, "Fuck you," and walked off the job directly into Grant Park, really pretty much right across the street, and spent the day down there, and did get maced, did get tear gassed, did not get billy clubbed, but the person right next to me did, and I was so angry that I screamed at the cops. Me, hit me. You gonna hit them? Hit me. And then as they broke the lines and we had to run back into Grant Park, they lobbed tear gas over our heads, so we had to run through the tear gas. By the time I got back to my apartment that night, my elevator operator's uniform was so soaked in tear gas and mace that when my girlfriend gave me a hug, she immediately broke out in a rash. Yeah, I was there. I love being in Mexico, but I can't help but notice the contrast. I was in Chicago 2 years ago and was downtown in Chicago. It was a wonderland for me. at this point in my life. Will I ever get back there? Will I ever get back to the U.S. at all? I do not know. But I'm pretty happy being where I am. I sent a text message to my friend Elia in El Diamante about how happy I am to be in Mexico. And she sent me a little GIF, little animated thing that has a dancing figure singing "Happy to be here." And it was put out by some Mexico government thing. And I'm happy to be here. And a lot of people are happy to be here. There's a lot of poverty, a lot of suffering, and in certain locations a lot of violence. But that's very local. Very local. Most of Mexico is extremely safe. This little town, incredibly safe. Yeah. Happy to be here in Mexico.